What is going on? It is go time. This is Mortar Mike late in the evening, and this is another Watcher of Realms video. Today, we are back. It has been a while. It has been quite a while. I have not recorded one of these matches in so freaking long, but now, alas, we are back for Eat, Sleep, GVG. It is go time. I'm so ready to do this. Forgive me if I have my like Barry White voice going on right now. This is my sleepy voice, but I want to show you the battles that I did. So I ended up doing my battles. I did it without commentary. I did it without, speaking out loud what I'm going to do. I just sat down, homed in, went into the battles, and I was happy with the result. What I'm going to do is I'm going to replay the battles. I'm going to show you guys what I did in the battles and why I made those decisions. I'm going to do a little pause here in between because, you guys like to see how I think and how I make this stuff happen. Am I an amazing GVG player? I don't know. I enjoy playing it. I love playing it. And that being said, it allows me to do some pretty cool stuff in the game. Let's get into the battles, shall we? Let's not burn any time here. Let's go. Some of this stuff is going to be blurred out. Just so y'all know, because I don't want y'all to know, oh, this has happened already, and then you just trying to fast forward. No. I'm literally going to be like, this person I went against, you're going to see the team that I went against, and you're going to see the battle unfold. So I have my order of all the battles that I did. I did do my 8 battles. We got it done. So let's get into them. Let's get to the G, the V, the G, shall we? So in GVG, I got this little guy here. I have not used him yet. I did not use him this GVG. But I just got Frozen Drifter added to the account, screenshot for the coach, because that's what you do when you play on mobile, you screenshot everything. So in GVG, I finished all my battles, barely any time left. Let's get straight into the matches. I'm gonna cut a little bit here because I don't wanna spoil too much. Let's see. The first battle was against RetroHylje. RetroHylje. I did 2 battles against RetroHylje. The thing is, was I the deciding factor that beat him, or did I just contribute to his defenses? This is how we shall show. So I'm going to show the bottom one, and I think the one above that was just a dupe match, so I'm not going to show them both because it's the same thing. It's no different. But here we go. So I'm going to pause it here. We're a little bit slower. Not slower, but just 1x for now. So you saw he had a broke here at the beginning. I'm going to pause. Looking at this team right now, you see an Edro, which is intimidating.
Tom, what's wrong with you? You don't remember me? You don't remember my name? What's my name?
You see an Hex, you see a Twin Fiend, you see a Broke here, and you see a Boreas. What do you see is wrong with this team? I will give you 2 seconds. This is what I spot, and this is why I went after this team. 2 seconds wrong. The problem with this team is if somebody gets punched in the ribs, they're gonna have to carry their ribs all the way home. This team has no healers. It's counting on sheer DPS to win for 3 minutes straight, and that is not a good tactic in many scenarios. There are some teams that are tanky enough for that, but you can't out DPS a 3-minute onslaught with 0 healers. So that being said, I started with the double rushers, and then I put the healers in, healer in right immediately after him. That usually goes up to like 7 costs at the very beginning. I double tap them, put them up there really quickly. You already know this. If you don't know, if you tap on the heroes, it slows down time. Much slower, not in the replay, of course. But I sent them in to go get their hits in, and I wanted them to cut down Broke here at least to his panic attack. They got that going. Here's the other issue. Since he was getting no heals and he's also not A5, he comes out of this ice crystal with 0 health. And for some reason, he also doesn't pop his ult. So he dies from the healer. So when that happened, I already knew this match was pretty much a win. Now it's just plucking off targets that plucking off targets off platforms. I sent in my tank because the tank's gonna suck up most of this damage that's gonna come in. He's gonna soak it all up, speed it up a little bit here. He goes in, I get up to 10 count, and I think I sent in the flyers. Yes, I sent in double flyers. That is double flyers if you look closely there. And he's taking the hits in the front, and the flyer just goes through. One shots everything. This is a good testament to tell you guys, Edro is not as scary as you think in GVG. Edro is only as good as the comp you put her in. If you put Edro in a bad comp, you're still going to lose the match. So that being said, that was how I ended up taking out that team. That was our first win. And then I went and ran this team again because it was a win. It was a pretty easy one, actually. So that was battle 1 and that was battle 2. Now let's get over to battle 3 and battle 4. This one I went against the main stronghold, against Evil Within. he had 9 wins and 7 defeats. Pretty decent defense. Not terrible, pretty decent. So this one was a little bit interesting. So I think I ended up watching Problem's attack. And I think Problem ended up using a maul in his attacks. So I was like, you know what? I seen what he did. It looks like it works. I'm going to give it a shot and do the same thing, because a guaranteed win is a guaranteed win. And then I did something very interesting after that. So let's put the first battle up here. This is me basically seeing what he did and saying, hey, that looks pretty cool. I got it up to 10 costs. So pausing it up here. Their team is Elwin, Arrogance, Boreas, King Hearts, and Brokir. So a fairly tanky team. DPS for single target attacks is a little lacking. So the reason why I say that is because I'm sending in Maul, and usually if I send a Maul, I'm sending the shield bearer or the fool with him, and he's gonna put a shield on him and basically nullify almost all of that damage. So you're gonna see right here is I'm gonna put the tank in the beginning. Maul's a tank, pretty good damage dealer. But my goal is to get the count up now, so I have these 2 out. That's a decent distance for them too. He's gonna take a little bit of damage, then he's gonna get his shield. So you look, shield is up. No damage basically. Then I send these double ones out right here for 8 costs. They march their way on down, and I think after this I send the axe bearers. I could be wrong, but if you look on the left, one, my light just went out. But so it looks like I'm a villain now. Villain mode activate. What you see, our walkers are coming up there, so I got up to 6 costs here. I sent the axe cleavers out as well. Axe slaughterers, they went out there and did their thing. And you just look on the left, you see that Brokir is fighting for his life, and Mars just making it impossible to kill any of my demons because Arrogance can't kill anybody past it. So all of them are just kind of free game to just go in there and do as much damage as they want. But after a while, they break down Brokir. Once Brokir is gone, this team kind of falls apart. I'm going to replace my light after this. I just send it to the tank, just more axe slaughterers, just in case it were to get hairy. But they're going to just push through right here, and that's just going to be a win. So you see the whole mob, the whole crew going through. That's a done deal. So you saw that was that battle, and I said, you know what? Okay, that battle went well, but what if I can make that battle a little bit easier and save myself a maul in the process? So I ended up running that battle again, but I changed it up. Instead of running with the maul, I just went with the straight tank, the legendary tankers. I can't remember the actual name, but right here you see I got the count not to 10. I did get it to 10. And then I waited until the count got up, not to 10 again. I think I got it towards 8 or 9, and I sent the shield guy after him. So there you go. If you notice, I put him at the back tower. I want to give him plenty of time to make it up there because the tank can do a lot of damage and stay alive for a long period of time. So I didn't want the shield bearer or the fool, I keep calling him shield bearer, I didn't want him to be in the crossfire for very long if I can help it. And then now that I have this count up, I think I send the double ones again. Yep, so I paused. What I did was, of course, I tapped one of the enemies at 1x. You got to change it to 1x also. At 2x, it's still a little iffy. So you got to change it to 1x speed. And then I put these both down in the back tile here, so it'll give them plenty of time to make the trip. The main reason I did that is because I want Boreas's and I want Arrogance ult to be off or just focused on the tank at that time. So these guys they're heavy damage dealers, but they're a little frail. So you gotta be a little mindful of what you send out there. So back to the battle, I'm going to 3x to get him back to the fight. So now you see the tank's doing great. He's getting the shields, which is nice. He's doing wonderful. And axe slaughters come in. You see it go. You see the work. You see the work. And it's just a straight pile up on. I think it was his Brokir again. Yeah, you can hear him. He's shouting for his life. On Brokir, and it's just a straight pile up. This is before Boreas can get his ult off to do a lot of damage. He got a hit here, but there's so much damage going on Brokir already. If you already noticed. I think behind Brokir died before Brokir, which is crazy. And they just march on them. So this team that I went against lacked single target DPS. Now, if I didn't have a tank in the front, Arrogance would have did pretty well. But I saw that and said, you know what? I'm going to make sure I have one enemy at least on my side that can soak up a ton of damage. And as a result, my damage dealers could do their job for much longer, made it a lot easier to break this team down. So just showing the stats of that actual team here. Yeah, I think Hars went down before Brook here. And you know, that's the Hars way. Sorry. Why am I being this mean? All right. Yeah, that was, what was that? Battle 3 and 4. So I showed 1, it was the second one was a dupe, and I showed 3, which is with the Maul, and then 4 was the same team, but I ran it with a legendary one instead, or legendary tank instead, because I wanted to save my Mauls. I don't think it's a good idea to just run double Mauls and burn them out so quickly, because you only have 3 instances. Now a Maul is coming to the game, he has a bond skill, which is awesome, which means you're able to use your Maul 1 more time, so you can use them 4 times in GVG, which is awesome. That's gonna be crazy. For people to have half their teams being Maul teams is gonna be pretty interesting. Maul teams aren't invincible now, don't get me wrong. Maul offenses aren't invincible, but nice to have more, especially for in-game content. Now, number 5. This is an interesting one, so I wanna pull it up here. Number 5, I jumped over to Stronghold 4 and I went against SARS. I think I've actually fought SARS before because I cannot forget that name. I remember that name. But he has 3 wins, 6 defeats, so some of the comps weren't doing too well in this content. But let's go over to Team 2 where I battled him. That's blurred out so y'all don't see it. All right, so I'm going to show my battle against SARS. What's funny is I ended up accidentally showing another person's battle. I didn't pay attention to the fact that people battled after me. But this is my battle against SARS. I did 2 against his team 2. Here's how the results were. This is actually a very tough team for me. So we ended up having, if you look on the left-hand side, over here, his team consists of a Baron in the front with a Torador behind him with a Hatset to the left. Behind that is an Arrogance and a Lily over to the left. I mean, far right. So that means that Hatset cannot be healed in this comp. But there's another flaw that's really interesting. I want to see if you guys catch it once you see my tanks and stuff go over to the left-hand side. I want to see if you guys catch it. I'll even slow it down for you. So we got our tank going up. I got it to another 8, 9. Yeah, and I got my next guy out here. Now, I intentionally did that because I want him to take a little bit of damage, because I'm okay with him taking a little bit of damage. I want to keep the shield bearer, aka the Fool, as far away from the damage as I can for as long as I can. The longer time he spends out of the fight, the less damage he takes and the more shields I get, which keeps my tanky demon in the front up a lot longer. So that was my choice here. Then I sent my axe loaders in as well. So you notice he's taking barely any damage, and then he's gonna get a shield and it's back to no damage. After that, my axe loaders come in, and I think my tank guy made me nervous, or my Fool made me nervous, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, it wasn't this fight, it was the next one. But yeah, so okay, you look, there's 3 enemies here, and Hatsets ult triggers. So what's weird about that is there's only 3 enemies. So what happens is I noticed that 2 things happen. One thing Torador does is little bounce in his attack, and I don't know if that shifts the tile that they're in, but for some reason that seems to trigger the ult. And also, depending on where the minions stand, sometimes they kind of circle around the same guy. They don't leave the tile, but they step into the side tiles, and that also triggers the ult. That is a bad thing for Hatset, because Hatset needs to be hitting mobs with that attack, not a single person that stepped out in the corner for a split second. So that costs a lot of DPS on this team. That being said, that a lot of my guys are coming here and do some pretty decent damage. I sent a second tank instead of sending more DPS because I knew that there's a chance they can kill more DPS. There wasn't a chance they can kill a second tank quickly. So figure with that, and this tank also does pretty good damage. I figured with that, you know, that was the right choice. You notice my shield guy's taking a lot of hits here. That's what I wanted to avoid as long as possible. And I lost one of my axe slaughterers, lost a second one, but these double tanks here do great damage. If you watch the shield here on Baron, they do great damage, and I got my axe slaughterers on the way next. So I sent these guys in. I think I saved up to get the mages next because my goal was to kill Baron, and when Baron's dead, I can send the mage in, the bookkeeper in, and he can kill Hatset and Arrogance by using his plus shake attack. So it's at 9. It goes up to 10. I think for a second I was brain farting because I was looking over at the battle on the left and didn't realize that I was at a 10 cost. So I put those 2 down right there really quickly. And look at the time, it's 1 minute, 1 freaking minute left. So this is an interesting match. So you see she pops up, oh, she's only hitting one guy. Whole ultimate only hitting one person, so that's not a good look. But they're getting the kills here, but I got the kill on Baron, which is the most important thing that I wanted to happen. What Baron did, that makes this a lot easier because I can drop Hatsit, because Hatsit can't do any damage. I mean, Hatsit can't heal for any damage. So I'm at 30 seconds. It's getting crazy. It's getting kind of hectic. I got Arrogance in the back and I got Hatsit to the left. Bookkeeper comes in, hits a shot, Hatsit's gone. Arrogance gets saved. I send my runners in because I already knew they're gonna make it into the fight in the right time. Just broke the shield on Arrogance. I need one more hit from the Bookkeeper, so here it goes. Sent it. Nope, didn't send it. Well, I guess the dogs did it. The dogs got the kill, and then they turned around and bit Torador more while the Bookkeeper did it. I didn't get the kill, but enough dogs got through, so that worked. That made it happen. The Bookkeepers got in just long enough to build up the block to get enough of them through, which is crazy. You saw that timing. It's clutch, it's clutch. So I did run that match again, slightly different, and I'll show you why. Okay, in the second match, I ran almost the same style, but I did change it up just a little bit because I wanted to just see how my timers were working. You kind of notice maybe a slight difference if you watch this last match and watch this match. I start off with my tank and my shield because I need that to last as long as possible. Send my Maulers here next. I think I switched up what I sent out next, if I'm not mistaken. What did I change up here? So they're doing pretty good damage here. Of course, my runners come out here, and I think so if you notice, all of my axe slaughterers are already out. So I think what I ended up doing was, yeah, I made a mistake on this run because I thought I could just go through Baron a little faster. That didn't pan out. So ended up jumping back to the match. Got my axe slaughterers going in. I'm trying to get that damage. I just need Baron to drop. That's it. He could take, like, if he drops, I don't care if Lily revives Torador 100 times, I can make it through that team afterwards. There's the ult, only hitting one enemy. And we got Baron down, which means it's gonna be a win. If the Bookkeeper can make the trip, it's a win. You notice I waited too long again. And they're working on Torador. Torador gets that extra health, the extra life comes back to life. I got one tank, which isn't enough to get in there. But 40 something seconds, we're cooking, doing as much as we can. Arrogance comes through, get ready to snuff out my tank. That damage is looking crazy, that health bar is looking small. 30 seconds. And the same as before. She cannot be guarded, and this is why you also, if you didn't know this is really important for anybody who's trying to learn more in GVG. With your damage dealers, like your slaughter, or not your slaughterers, your shadowcasters, your bookkeepers, your axe bowmen, whichever one those are, even with your bombs, if you have enough cost for it, you want to be sending them out at the same time. Because if you send them out at the exact same time, they can do 2 hits at once, which could be enough to kill an enemy. If you just send one, it may not be enough to one-shot another enemy, an enemy that's in the defense, and you just wasted that minion. So that's something to think about. Should I send out one, or should I wait until I get to the cost of 10 and send them out as a pair? Right now, because they're a pair, that one hit counts as a big one hit. And also, it doesn't leave any gap for the healer to go in there and heal between those hits. So you want to get as much damage out of that shot as possible. That's how you do it. You double stack. You heard what happened. She's a dead. And Arrogance has been shielded. Same as before, my doggos make the run. You see the time is at the clock. You see the time of the clock is down to the wire. Arrogance takes another hit. Even with the heals with Lily, there's a charge up. Arrogance is gone. They push through. They even maul down him some more. Look at the time. Look at this time. Nuts. And they push through. Last second. Got it. Another dub. It's funny enough, this team is one of the more intimidating teams for me because I don't go against this team a lot. And so I kind of had to think of, like, how would I go against this team? How would I beat this team? I was like, okay, I had to look at what the heroes are. The heroes don't do a whole bunch of damage, so it took a long time for all of my guys to really die. And you notice I had a bunch of high cost options, so that made a difference. Let's go with battle number 7. This is also with SARS, but this is against team number 1. So I forgot what his team number 1 was, but I think this was this is a tricky match if I'm not mistaken. Did I use a maul on this one? I'm not entirely sure. Looking at his team. Okay, I did not use a maul. Interesting, I should have used them all. This is a fairly tanky team. You got your Ella one, she's facing right, so everybody's gonna get heals. Your Broke here, your King Hars, and your Valkyr, and this is basically, essentially a Northerners team. The only difference is a lot of people would switch out like a King Hars or something for a Mari and put her somewhere in the battle, which is not a bad idea. Problem is there aren't many options to put her on the field without her getting sniped. If you take Eloin's spot, Eloin's gone. It's a really tough team to put into the back area. You could put Mari where Eloin is, and you probably can do a little bit of shifting around, but then you really have to have another fighter on the ground because there aren't many spots on the walls to keep your guys alive. They're gonna get sniped. That being said, you see my team, very similar to the team before. I said, you know what? I'm gonna do exactly the same, but one of the weaknesses of this team is there are only 2 damage dealers. That being said, after the ult of Valkyr, only one of them can attack aerial units. That's my opening. That's the type of battle that I'm gonna go on with. So you see my team, I got my tank, I got the fool, I got my doggos, I got my flyers, and I got my axe loaders. This is what I do. Get the count up, got it at 10, send my tank out. Once he gets a little higher, I don't get the 10 count again. I think I get to 9. Yep, send another one. And they go up. So what I'm thinking is I want them to all eat up those ults. I want Valkyr's ult over anybody's ult to be done. If her ult is done, I'm good. So I think if I'm not mistaken, I get it up to 10 and then send the flyers out next because there's nothing that can really stop them. As cool as Maul is, he is not doing single target damage. He's not. Here we go. 10 count, they went out. Yep, watching the ult, look on the left-hand side. If you notice, her ult started when they came out. You see how long a distance you have to travel? So don't underestimate that. Don't think, oh, I can send them at the last second. You really got to plan like 20 something, 30 something seconds ahead to get your guys in position. So that's really an interesting thing to remember. So you see my guys are making a walk over, or the fly over. So my tank's taking almost no damage. That's why I sent another one because obviously they're not gonna die anytime soon in this comp. And you notice that tank's doing a pretty tough job too. He's not doing a great job, especially with damage dealers in the air here. They're actually just pinning, they're just stacking on the damage with them. So I already know that first life is gone. I think Hars gets saved, which is a complete waste because Hars is playing almost nothing in this comp. I think Hars gets saved by Valkyr. I think, I could be wrong, but I think it is. We notice, gets my shield guy down pretty soon. But my tank, my guys in the back, getting kills. All the right kills too. And now it's just tanks. And Eloin's not the best choice for single target heals. She's an AoE healer. And it's only a matter of time. I just send the doggos in too, and you just see how many things Hars has to deal with. Couldn't even get his ult off in time. His ult would have saved him a little bit, but I still would have beat him with the doggos coming through. So that team went down. That was team number 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. I showed the double count to the other one. That was team number 7, which was a separate battle by itself. That was team 1. Yes, that was team 1. The very last battle, I went back to Evil Within in Stronghold number 3, and I battled against his second team, right? Yes, so I battled against his second team as the last battle that I had of the night. I think I still had 2 Mauls left, which is, you kind of want to end up with 0 Mauls if you can help it. But if you don't need a Maul team to run a comp, don't do a Maul team. It just works out. So the last battle I did was against Evil Within. This is his second team. And his second team consists of a Hollow, a Valkyr, very similar to the other one, but it has a Constance and a Praetus in this team. So it could be a lot of DPS that comes through, and it also has a, I'm about to say Leorius. Also has a Regulus in the front. So you notice I switched it up just a little bit more because I would like to use my tank, but I'm gonna be honest, I wanted to try to get Constance out. If I can get Constance out or Valkyrie out, I'm in the green. That being said, they only have 2 damage dealers yet again, and when Valkyrie's ult is not active, only Praetors could do aerial damage. Now he does have those little lightning strikes, nothing to worry about with your tank. Your tanks are fine. So you're gonna see I'm gonna build the cost off, I think, to 10 and get my Maul out. Then I'm gonna send my shields. Then after that, I think I send my flyers at the next 10. If I don't, then I send the axe cleavers when I get to 6. I'm not entirely sure what I did here, but I know I started with the Maul at 10, and then when I got to 5, I set my tank out. Like I said, don't worry about those lightning strikes. They're not much of an issue. And look, she popped her ult way early. It made no sense. Her ult's almost done by the time Maul gets there. Barely any damage. The rest of the team has an attack. It's just Praetor's lightning strikes. That being said, here's what happens. Slow it down just a little bit here. Doing some damage to my tank guy, to my shield guy, nice. But look, I got Regulus already down to his unyielding, and now I got my shields on. This is the one that got me nervous, because if you look right here, look what happens to my axe slaughterers. He turns around and gives one of them a shield. Why? Maul's over there. But Maul's still going to work. You're not stopping. Send a second set of axe slaughterers in, and Regulus is still fighting for his life. Axe slaughterers come in, spread it up a little bit. They can get a quick kill on Regulus because he can't be revved anymore. And they come through. Constance is usually never built tanky, and they just push on through. Plenty of time left. Team could have looked very intimidating when we first did the battle. Could have been very intimidating. But to be honest, once you figure out how some of these teams work, it's a little easier to kind of circumvent what their issues are, what their challenges are. This only comes from playing a bunch of GVG, doing a couple friendly face-offs, seeing how the teams are built and how they work. Not being afraid to take L's, but you have to do it not just when GVG comes around, because that's when the scoreboard is up. Get a little bit of practice in there, and that's what I've been doing a lot of. I really did not sit down and record a GVG in some time, but with GVG-9, I am happy to say that those battles equal a perfect 8. So what an awesome way to jump back into GVG with the perfect 8, and I showed you guys how I did those battles. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 unique battles. The first one was a dupe, so I didn't re-show that one. Really good run, really enjoyed it. How do you guys like GVG? Is there one of these teams that you see in GVG that you get a little nervous about when you see them? You're like, how do I beat that team? How do I get against it? I hope this helps you out. I want to say Maul is a little bit of an exception, so let's be real. You got to get that 50K, or you got to just beat a lot of Nightmare 4 where he'll pop up in enough chests, which is nice also. He is like the 5th strategy. I think Slate mentioned them before. I don't remember them all off the top of my head. I remember one was like overpower, one was like overrun, one was like flyover, and one was Maul, and there was one more, and I cannot remember. Overpower, overrun, flyover, Maul, and I don't know, outgun. I have no idea. But that being said, you guys just saw me do my GVG matches. I'm very happy with the results in them. Got a perfect 8. That's the best thing you can ask for, which means I might get some extra rewards out of that too. But yeah, GVG is fun. It always has been, as long as you're paying a little bit of attention to how this stuff works. I want to learn a little bit more about this ice guy. I haven't seen many people using him or bragging about him, probably because he's very frail and he's a melee target, so he hasn't really getting close for his ability to do anything. But he's like a thorn in your side. The longer he's alive, the more damage and wreckage he can do, which is cool. There's a little bit of trade-off with him being so flimsy though. But yeah, GVG has been great. I do hope that you guys enjoyed it. I just realized as I went this far into the video, I made the mental note to do this at the beginning of the video, and I didn't. But it had to be go time. I had to put on war colors, and I can't, I can't put war colors on the top because my daughter's light went out in her room, and so I gave her one of my control lights, and I had a 4th light, but that was Bluetooth is broken, so its standard setting is rainbow. So that is why my background is so colorful. But I do hope that y'all enjoyed this GVG session. Did I show you guys some techniques that you didn't think about before? I did my best. I went out there, kicked some butt, and I hope you guys are doing the same in GVG as well. Keep practicing. That's the best way you can get better in GVG. Demonic Crusades helps a lot too because you learn a lot about the different attacks you can do. Really useful. But above all, friendly face-off is your best friend. Your best friend. Go against your different guild mates. Go against some people that aren't in your guild, that are friends of yours that you've added into the game. Go against some of their comps, something new, something that might go on a different level than you are. You'd be surprised what stuff exists out there. And don't get intimidated by Ingrid. If the team doesn't make sense, go put the team to sleep. That's all I'm gonna say. Make it work, make it happen. This has been your boy Mortar Mike. I hope that y'all enjoyed GVG number 9. Number 10 I'm gonna work on fairly soon once I get some more battles going, but I just want to make sure you guys had a good time. I'm gonna put this video out as soon as humanly possible. Very minimal edits.
Why the you lying?
I just want you guys to see the battles and take note because I think the next GVG is like, by the time you see this video, it's gonna be live. So have fun. Don't treat GVG as your practice grounds. GVG is your testing grounds. It's your proving grounds. Do some friendly face-offs. See what you can get out of it. This has been Mortar Mike. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. See y'all soon. Take care. Peace.